Hello, welcome to this tropical update for Hurricane Beryl. So in the map now we only have Hurricane Beryl, and in the next 7 days nothing else is currently expected, but we have some other flooding and rainfall to talk about with some tropical waves. So let's see here. So the latest track guidance we have it making landfall in Texas there. There are hurricane watches for northeastern Mexico and the coast of Texas. So let's see, it's projected to reach hurricane strength right before landfall there, but it's kind of weak now as a tropical storm, but it's projected to reach hurricane strength. So be aware of the hurricane watches, and we already have some rainfall estimates, and take a look at this. 8 to 12 inches or even more expected in these parts of Texas. So that's some very flooding rainfall. Please be mindful of that. And we have a moderate risk now for excessive rainfall for when this makes landfall. You'll make landfall on early Monday, I think. So this is Monday through Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So please make preparations for this flooding, and to mention too the coastal flooding. This is a peak storm surge forecast, so they say up to 5 feet is possible, 3 to 5 feet in some areas of storm surge, and depending on the strength of this and everything, it could be even higher in a place or another. So please be careful. The arrival time of the tropical storm force winds around, they say, so this will make landfall like at night. So the winds might arrive in like northern Mexico and extreme southern Texas by Sunday at 8 a.m. But the main landfall will be like Sunday night around 7 and 8 p.m. there, because first, like yesterday and before yesterday, this was projected to make landfall around Monday at 1 a.m. But I think it's sped up a little bit, so they say around 1 p.m. Monday and 1 a.m. Sunday. Yes, so it will be approaching Texas by Sunday. You will already be feeling some impacts, but it will mainly make landfall on Monday. So because the arrival time of the tropical storm force winds are around Sunday night there, but the main landfall will be on Monday, as you can see here with the time. But we'll monitor for any changes there. So the tropical storm force wind probabilities, they are already at 50 or 60% in the coast of, that's 70 actually, around 70-60% in parts of the coast of Texas, and this will only increase as it gets closer. So be careful. The hurricane force wind probabilities are around 20 to 30% in parts of the coast near Texas, and around 5 to 10% there in the Texas coast, and I think this might increase a little bit as we get closer. And the 58 mile per hour wind probability is already at 35% there near the coast of Texas, so be aware, and northeastern Mexico too. So let's see the key messages. There's an increasing risk of damaging hurricane force winds and life-threatening storm surge in portions of northeastern Mexico and Texas coast late Sunday into Monday, where hurricane storm surge watches are in effect. Additional watches and warnings may be required later today. Interested in those areas should follow any advice given by local officials. Flash and urban flooding, some of which may be locally considerable in nature, likely across parts of Texas and Gulf Coast and eastern Texas beginning late Sunday through midweek. Rip currents will cause life-threatening beach conditions through the weekend across much of the Gulf Coast. Beachgoers should heed warning flags and the advice of lifeguards and local officials before venturing to the water. So be aware too. Let's see, just in Spanish here if anyone needs Há um risco crescente de eventos daninhos com força de huracán y marea rada ciclónica que amenaza la vida en porciones del noreste de México y la costa de Texas hasta el domingo y el lunes, donde las vigilancias de huracán y marea rada ciclónica están en efecto. Pueden requerirse vigilancias y avisos adicionales más tarde hoy. Las inundaciones repentinas y urbanas, en algunas de cuales pueden ser localmente considerables en naturaleza, es probable a porciones de la costa del Golfo de Texas y otras partes de Texas, específicamente el este, así, a partir del domingo y medio de la semana. Entonces, precauciones. So let's see here. And one interesting thing that I forgot to mention, right before Beryl made landfall in the Yucatan, did briefly turn into a category 3 there. Just to let you know. So this is mainly it here. So please be careful with that rainfall, the storm surge and the winds. So that's Beryl right now. It's kind of weak as a tropical storm, so it's just 1001 millibars now and 50 knot gusts. So let's see here. The track, most of the models stay this into Texas. There are two, just one or two into Mexico, but this is mainly going to Texas. There are two into Texas. And the intensity guidance has maybe only 3 models go up to a hurricane in the next 36 to 72 hours. But most models stay at a tropical storm, so this could turn into a hurricane, but there's not much confidence. But the conditions will certainly be there for hurricane, but you have only a few amount of time before it gets to land to be able to intensify into a hurricane. But the sea surface temperatures there very near the coast in the Gulf of Mexico are like almost to 30 degrees Celsius there. That's around like 8 and something Fahrenheit. So right near the coast, the sea surface temperatures are much higher. So when it gets to those warmer waters, you have a chance to intensify into a hurricane. The ocean heat content is not very big in the Gulf of Mexico, but there are some hot spots there. So yeah, but those sea surface temperatures will definitely help it. So let's see some hurricane models first for Beryl here. So it's there now, a little bit weak, and then it goes there towards Mexico and Texas, and then some storms and rain will affect northeastern Mexico, but most will go into Texas there. But be aware in Mexico too. And then let's see, and as this makes landfall, this whole band of storms here could potentially have many supercells and tornado warnings, because usually these outer rain bands here tend to produce some supercells, and by the look of this, these eye walls here, the northern eye wall might have a bunch of supercells too. So be aware, the tornado potential would definitely be there, and later too, as this weekends, there might still be some supercells with the remnants of this. So be aware. And let's see, the H-Wharf has this making landfall as a 9A category 1 hurricane, so this is pretty believable. But it says like right after it makes landfall, like when it's making landfall, it puts it to a 976 there, so it shows it might strengthen a little more, and then it goes there and dissipates. So let's see another one here, the half say. So let's see, it has Beryl there, a little bit weak now, but then approaching Texas, still kind of weak, but then strengthening more right when it gets very close to the coast, around 978, 998 millibars at landfall. You could have all those storms and supercells there, with maybe tornadoes, very heavy rain and flooding. So, and then the remnants go away. And let's see the other model here. What it has, the HEFS-B, it has a kind of weak still, but right before landfall, it turned into a 972 category 1 or 2 hurricane. So I'm not very sure about a category 2, but a category 1 is very likely. So it takes it there, kind of the same setup. So let's see some global models here. This is the Euro. It has making landfall in Texas as a 981 category 1 hurricane, or 983 there. So and then it goes there, brings some very damaging heavy rain and flash flooding, and then goes away. And the remnants of Beryl could bring some more flooding to other areas of the US. So we will take a look at that soon. Let's see, the GFS has this as a 978 making landfall and then going to Texas there. So let's see here. Wait. Here. So this is the latest run there. Kind of the same thing. Makeland was as a 982 there, and then going. And as you can see, it makes landfall in Texas, and the remnants of this keep going there through the central US all the way up into the northeast. So this might bring some more flooding and heavy rain later. So here's the rain accumulation from the Euro. So it has a lot there for Texas. Those yellows are like more than 15 inches, those small areas in yellow, and then it keeps going, and you can see this big trail of rain accumulation all the way from Texas into the northeast. So a lot of rain there, and those pinks are like 4 inches there. So the GFS has it there, make landfall. It doesn't have that much of a trail, has most of the rainfall in Texas and then kind of dissipating, but then bringing more to the northeast later, or maybe another system there later. And something else I'm noticing here, it is some other type of non-tropical system, but a low pressure system, maybe bringing more rain to the southeast later. So this is by July 15th. There are some huge amounts of rain there in the southeast. So that's from the GFS, and the Euro also has it here. The rain coming from the Atlantic there. And then by July 16th, a lot of there in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Not as much as the GFS, but it's just to let you know. And let's see here. Some wind gusts maybe. So let's see. The Euro has this making landfall there with some like, why is this in kilometers? Wait, here, around 90 miles per hour wind speeds. Let's see, as this makes landfall further there, around some 89 miles per hour, 90. Let's see the GFS. So the GFS is a little bit weaker, around 57 miles per hour there. And the icon is further north still, and around, wait, and the icon is very strong. It's around 118 miles per hour. This will be a no, not a major hurricane because that's just the wind gusts, but I don't necessarily trust this. The icon is too strong. I think the most likely outcome now is the euro here, maybe a little bit stronger than this, but not much. And let's see some waves. Sunday, and as this gets closer, there will be already some big swells all throughout the Gulf, but mainly Mexico and Texas and Louisiana. And then the Euro has this approaching with some. Why is this in meters again? Let's see. Feet. with some 18-foot waves in the ocean there. And before it makes landfall, it shows it's stronger, around 24-foot waves. Let's see, 20, 24, but and then as this makes landfall, it has it weaker there, 16-foot waves around the coast, 9 feet, 10. So be careful, and the waves could be stronger than this, depending if it makes landfall stronger. And now let's see the rest of the Caribbean here, because we have this big disturbance there around Jamaica, Hispaniola and Cuba. That was for former Invest 96L there, that now won't form into anything, but it's still bringing some heavy rain to the area. We have some other thunderstorm activity near the Central America, near the Atlantic. So let's see here the rain. So that's the disturbance there now. It's affecting Jamaica, Cuba, even the southern Bahamas, parts of Haiti too. And then by Sunday, let's see Monday. Yes, so let's see some accumulation better. In the next 24 hours from this disturbance, it already has some rain in Jamaica and Cuba, some in southern Haiti, but more in parts of southeastern Jamaica, around 33 millimeters, 26 millimeters, 20 millimeters there in the next 24 hours. In southern Haiti, around 24 millimeters. Let's see, in Cuba, choose some areas of 8 millimeters, 16 millimeters, 17. So in the next 3 days here, not much change, but a little bit more in Jamaica after the 24-hour period. And then even to 54 millimeters, around 30 millimeters in other areas, 23 millimeters. Southern Haiti, maybe teeny bit more. The Dominican Republic starts getting some in the next 3 days, around 5 millimeters. Puerto Rico some more, but only around 11 millimeters. The Virgin Islands too. Here, the Northeastern Caribbean might get some showers around 14 millimeters. Guadeloupe around 13. Let's see, in these other areas here, some 18 millimeters. Martinique, 12. St. Lucia around 16 millimeters. Barbados around 10 millimeters in the next 3 days. St. Vincent there, 11, 13 millimeters. Trinidad and Tobago around 10 and 14 millimeters in some areas. So let's hear some showers there possible the next 3 days. And for Cuba, a little bit more in some areas, around 9, 14 millimeters, 13. And let's see here, the Bahamas, maybe some more showers there. Florida. And let's see in the next 5 days. In the next 5 days, a teeny bit more for Jamaica, but not much of a difference, just around 61 millimeters the next 5 days, 34 millimeters, 38 in some other areas, 27 in the next 5 days in the Eastern Caribbean, not much change, just some showers, still around 16, 21 millimeters, 13 millimeters and more. In the northeastern Caribbean, around 15, 16 millimeters. Puerto Rico 15, 16 millimeters, 17. So in the next 5 days there. In Dominican Republic a little bit more, around 16 millimeters in some areas the next 5 days. Haiti, some more showers possible, especially southern Haiti, a little bit more. And let's see, and then you start seeing Florida here in the southeast in the next 5 days, getting already like 70, 78 millimeters next 3 days, next 5 days. So we'll get that wave of rain there. The next 10 days even more. So let's see here for Central America now, the next 3 days. So already some more rain in Panama, especially northern areas of Panama there. Costa Rica a little bit better, but still some more rain. Nicaragua there, around 70 millimeters, 36, 50 millimeters in some areas. Honduras, some spots in southern Honduras, 74 millimeters, 61. Guatemala, some areas with some heavier rain, but further north it's fine, mainly in the south there. Mexico, some areas of southern Mexico, some more heavy rain. And the Yucatan, not much more, but a little bit more in the next 3 days, around Belize too, some 40 millimeters, 15 parts of the Yucatan. Let's see, 27. And what else here? In other parts of western Mexico, around 4 if 50 millimeters there. Further north, 49 millimeters, and some other areas. So stay safe from these rains. Be aware, northern South America too. Some spots in Venezuela with 80, 70 millimeters. Colombia too, some heavy rain spots. Guyana, a little bit more on the coast there, and some other areas. Suriname too. Let's see. Then in the next 5 days, and this is all just a forecast, it can change. Keep in mind, it shows like 70 millimeters, 77, 92 in parts of Nicaragua in the next 5 days. Costa Rica a little bit more. In Panama, some more in some areas. Let's see, in El Salvador, Honduras, some spots like more than 80 millimeters. And there's this spot in southern Guatemala, southern Mexico, around 120 millimeters there. In Belize, a little bit more, maybe around 60 millimeters the next 5 days. Mexico there, 49 millimeters, and some other areas of Mexico there. Let's see, Florida too, the northern Bahamas the next 5 days, the showers in the Caribbean. And let's see the GFS here. So that was the euro, so the GFS in the next 5 days. So it has some showers there in the Caribbean too. In South America, some heavy rains. Puerto Rico, some more showers, around 22 millimeters. Haiti, the Dominican Republic, a little bit more. Jamaica, it has a little bit less for Jamaica. But let's see, Cuba, around Georgia there, it has a lot the next 5 days. And for Central America, especially, the GFS is like more than 177 millimeters in Nicaragua, Honduras there, especially El Salvador and southern Honduras. The GFS has more here, so be aware in those areas. And let's see for Hurricane Beryl here. So the GFS has some amounts there of like 128. Let's put this in inches here. So around 5 inches, 5.5 inches. I think it could get more than this in some spots, but 4 inches it has. So in the next 10 days here, not much difference, just like 3-5 inches in Louisiana, some more too. But take a look at the southeast, it's like 6 inches in Georgia there, and for further north here, some other areas. So let's see the Euro here. Next 5 days. So it has a lot in Texas there, around 8 inches and even more. In some specific areas, not widespread, but it can be more. Northern Texas, it has more than 8 inches. And let's see. Wait. Here in southern Arkansas, it has like 10 inches in the next 5 days. And then, let's see, 10 days, the trail of moisture continues there, all the way to the northeast, because of the remnants, some 5 inches around Pennsylvania, and even Nova Scotia there, around 9 inches in the next 10 days. And then it has, in the southeast there, in Florida and Georgia, more, around 4 or 5 inches, and some other areas too. So be aware, stay safe from Hurricane Beryl there in Texas and Mexico. Stay safe from the flooding, storm surge, and damaging winds and everything, and tornadoes. And be careful in the Caribbean too, with some areas of heavy rain. And this is it, I think. Let's just see some more waves here. A little bit bigger waves in the Central Caribbean by Sunday too, especially in those areas there because of the winds and everything. And then he kind of dissipates next week, but still some areas there. Maybe in the next week some bigger waves in the Atlantic there, near the northeastern Caribbean. And let's see, some wind gusts, the gustier winds in the Central Caribbean there. And we'll continue some very gusty winds there in the Central Caribbean, and then they kind of continue there some more, and then in the Atlantic later some gustier winds next week. So this is it. Stay safe, warn others, a lot of Saharan dust too in some areas, and bye.